everybody, I'm Lauren.
I'm Emma.
And you're listening to The Oakview. Hello, everybody.
Hello, friends.
Welcome to another episode of The
Oakview. Oh, yes. Nailing it.
We were close.
We were
but
close.
Not great.
We're trying to get better, but this is
7
the best
out
we
of
got.
10.
10 out of 10. Lauren and I.
Oh, that's not what I said.
Oh. What did you say?
I said 7 out of 10.
Oh, I gave ourselves See, I'm an overachiever.
I gave us a C. We were off.
I'm totally into giving us the best grade possible. We deserve it. We earned it. We're everything. 10
You
out of
wouldn't
10.
even give me a 10 out of 10 when I asked you if I was a 10 out of 10 friend.
When I said, well, are you a good friend? And then I said,
and here she is weeks later like, oh, we should always give ourselves the best score possible.
You know, my life changes weekly, okay? So don't
I'm
come after me.
just holding you accountable, okay?
Clearly you need to hold me accountable because I need someone to hold me accountable. It's fine. We don't need everybody to know the truth. It's
Welcome
okay.
to this safe space.
This is a safe space. And thank goodness for that because Lauren and I need to tell Lauren something and she doesn't know what I'm going to tell her.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything okay? Are we still friends?
Oh, we're still friends. We're always going to be still friends. But
okay, good.
I wanted to tell Lauren publicly that I really appreciate her and how much she loves me because the other day I was not feeling really well and I reached out and I was like, Lauren, oh God, I'm just so sad and I'm just like all alone in my brand new house and I need someone. And she's like, Emma, you're amazing. Like, go cry. Go hang out in your little bedroom and watch TV and you're fine and you're great and I love you and if you need anything I'm gonna come over and help. And I was like, I don't deserve you. And she's like, shut up, that's what friends are for. What else would we be for? And I was like, okay, thank you so much. So shout out to Lauren. She is a 10 out of 10 friend. I'm gonna revise my edit autocorrect from last time. 10 out of 10. Thank you,
I
Lauren.
feel like I said none of those words, but you're welcome.
You know, she honestly said things like, yeah, we all get like this. It happens. Like this happens. It's valid.
I just tried to validate your feelings.
Well,
That's what I'm here for. I got you, girl.
I really appreciate it though, because like I really felt really low and I honestly couldn't get out of bed for a few days and it was just depressing and I needed someone to know what was going on because I do live alone and I don't want people to.
Props to you.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
sending a text and being like, just so you know, I'm feeling kind of low because not everybody does that and that's a hard thing to do is to reach out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it took me 4 days to text you, but I mean, at least I did.
At least you did, you poor thing. I'm so sorry.
Poor me. It's okay.
Aww.
I went to work today.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So on that subject of,
going to work?
Well, going to work, but also like, being sad and like sad is normal. I was thinking that we could talk about like normalizing normal things because I think all the time, I know this doesn't make sense yet. Hold on.
Like being sad so you don't want to make dinner.
Yeah.
So you get
order
McDonald's or you make breakfast because that's so much easier than making chicken.
Correct, because frying an egg is better than frying chicken. Not better, easier, I should say. It's not better. Nothing's better.
Or a bowl of cereal.
Yes, or just like a bag of chips. Like, who cares? It's whatever you need in that moment to make you feel better. So I was thinking about it because I was watching a YouTube video and this girl, I'm not even going to say who it was because it doesn't matter. But this girl was saying that, like, because she's famous, she's used to doing, like, rock star stuff. All this, like, crazy paparazzi, spending time at photo shoots, getting her makeup done, all this craziness. And her normal friends were like, how about you come home and we can do normal shit? Like, sit on the couch and watch, like, 20 episodes of The Office. And I was like, that's so true because, like, we are typically doing normal stuff all day, but we don't like validate it because we think it's lazy and we're always trying to be overachievers. And to be honest, I don't want to be overachievers anymore.
Yeah, can we just talk about how people are inviting me to do more things with more people and I don't want to.
Oh my God, normalize saying
I don't
no. We need to say no more often. Honestly, I can't say no enough.
Do that.
Okay.
I don't say no. It'll eat me up inside. Is that bad?
No, it's the fact that because like you're not wanting to like let people down and you don't want to like sound lame or you don't want to come out, but like
it gives
that's normal.
Me so much anxiety that I'll like just ghost. I'll just like won't answer or I'll be vague or I'll just say yes. even though I don't want to do the thing.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm thinking about. Is just like stop expecting so much out of each other because everybody just wants to come home after work and sit on the couch for 3 hours and then also watch TV and be on their phone at the same time. Like, normalize that. That's normal. But like,
Amen.
I was just thinking because like I was like super low. You know, I haven't been that low in a really long time, and I was so grateful that you were like willing to work that with me. And I felt so much guilt. Like, I didn't do laundry. I didn't get up and clean. I didn't like get my house more in order because, you know, I just moved. But then you were like, you'll get there. Like, there's what are you freaking out about?
There's no rush. It has no moral value.
No, but like we are expected to be at a specific I don't want to say level, but like at a well, maybe it is level. Like we're expected to be
A certain productivity, a certain self expectation.
Right. And then like, you know, when you watch people on Instagram or Twitter or social media of any sort and you see that like girls have cute houses with it's all like the bed is made and the clothes are in order and they're like hung and they're like on a cute rack and they have a cute style, and I'm like, girl, my clothes are all over the floor. Like,
well, I'm sure their clothes are stuffed in their closets.
Right.
You know what I mean? And well, it's so funny because those pictures are like not even livable spaces.
Right. Exactly.
And like it's like, okay, where's your charger for your laptop? Mm-hmm. Where is it?
Because
show me it.
Yeah.
Or like where's your cup of water? Where's
Right.
It doesn't look lived in.
No, it looks like a space that someone walks around. You don't even like sit anywhere. You just admire it and post a photo of
like, yes. At Emma's house, when we were growing up, they had a living room that we weren't really allowed to sit in.
I wasn't even allowed to be in it. The living room was sacred. That was the sacred living room. The living room was so specific. So it's like my parents have this specific room that has like memorabilia from like different countries that they've been and like really fancy photos and paintings and furniture that's like more expensive than my life savings. And, you know, like it's just untouchable. It's like literally no one, if you went in there, you got scolded, you got yelled at just looking in the room. Okay. I mean, I did break a lamp once. Amy and I were fighting and I threw a pillow and the pillow broke the lamp and my mom and dad had it was a whole thing. So yeah, continue.
So are we going to talk about guilt? Are we going to talk about what makes the week so like bearable?
Well, I wasn't necessarily thinking that like guilt and shame and weakness is the source. It's just rather that like it's the outcome of the things that we're so expected of. And for people like our generation, we feel that I think a lot more than most. Like my parents' generation, assumingly, you know, they're baby boomers. So they came home and like their expectation was to like clean, cook, do all the activities before bedtime. And like, no, not me at all. Like,
yeah. And everybody does different things, right? Everybody has a different expectation of their household and the cleanliness and the chores that are done.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with this, like, I feel this a lot of pressure, like the pressure to be either as good or on the road to being as good as everybody around me. But it's like no one sees any of the stuff that's behind closed doors. And like, I wouldn't have shared that I was laying in my room all day, every day, not working, not eating, not showering, only with you. I feel shame in what happened because of how other people would perceive it as lazy or counterproductive, procrastinating, weak.
But I think that it's so normal.
It is normal. And that's what I'm saying. It's like normalize.
That you can share it on our podcast.
I'm willing to sacrifice my life for the sake of a conversation.
I mean, no, I do the same thing. You know, I'll get really sad and depressed and I can't make myself get up and do anything.
Like my brain is controlled so much by everything around me that my body won't even respond.
And if I learned anything from quarantine, it's that I really value rest.
Yes.
And just the slow pace lifestyle. Like, I don't want to go back to being busy. And other people do, and that's cool. But like, I want the rest. I want to be able to really like turn my brain off because doing activities and thinking about whatever, you know, household or other things like gives me anxiety.
No, I totally understand that. And I think that like maybe that's a reflection on us as like social humans. I always thought that I was very extroverted, but I realized that I'm only extroverted when I'm with like a social setting. I'm very introverted when I'm by myself.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know, I need to recharge a lot. I need preparation for events and time with family and friends. And that's just kind of like how it's going. Like I can't really control that.
That makes sense. I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really feel that like there's not enough conversation surrounding why it's important that people see that there are normal people out there just like them. TikTok right now is like the big, thing that Lauren and I always talk about. I see a lot of videos of girls normalizing or even positive
their messy house,
their messy houses, their body types, their failures, their
work life, like, education. I ate gummy bears for dinner or whatever. Yeah.
And for me, it's like it's seeing those individuals in my face on this platform that says, oh, that's fine. Like, that's normal.
Yeah, I think we need to understand, like, everybody's doing this. Like, it's not a big deal.
Right. And
no police is coming to your house and asking if you folded your laundry.
Did you do your laundry today, Emma? Because if you didn't, you are the worst.
The only person you're in trouble with is yourself.
Myself, right. And I'm the one that's in charge of whatever that is and whatever that means. But yeah, so I mean, I personally have gone through a tremendous amount of ups and downs when it came to like this move, like I'm in my new space. I'm putting it together. It's finally coming along. But I felt so guilty about, I don't even know, not having things unpacked, but like rather that, oh, I don't want to say that out loud. I felt guilty that I wasn't happier, but like I'm in a process.
I've been telling this to Emma for weeks that you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Isn't that crazy? Like
do you feel like you have a certain expectation of like, I should feel a certain way?
I feel like I should feel more grateful, or like I should feel happier than
grateful
I have.
For like,
I don't even know. Like, that's why I'm like, what is this? Like,
thank
internal?
the Lord, I have a safe roof over my head and food on my plate.
Right, exactly.
Good night, amen.
Exactly. And like, I try to do that, like 3 things. Like, what are the 3 good things that happened to you today that like make everything great and like whatever. And
let's do that.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to go back and forth?
As I said that out of my mouth, I was immediate what is it? Icebreaker game panic, like, oh my God, why did I say that out loud?
My name is Emma and I play
the tuba. Let's try to at least think of like one.
Yeah, I mean, like mine are going to sound really lame to some people, but like for me today, I'm very grateful that I got out of bed today and I went to work. That's one of the.
That's good.
That's one for sure. And like talking to you is always great. So like number 2, I went to work and I'm talking to my friend. I didn't eat fast food today. That's 3.
Oh, good job. Hey, you're killing it today. Wow. Put it on Insta.
And that's Lauren, that's the crap we have to stop.
I know. I'm kidding. That's why I'm joking.
She's got jokes, guys. She's full of the jokes.
Instagram, all right?
You don't have it. Oh yeah, you don't have an Instagram.
That's the way not to indulge in that.
Just the way it is.
I'm so much better than all of you.
So
I'm kidding, because I just spend more time on other platforms. It's fine. I'm
Lauren.
Fine, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
My mom does not listen to
please name your 3.
Okay. Numero uno. The breakfast that I made for dinner was pretty good.
Oh, you did have breakfast for dinner. What a classic. I did. That's such a classic.
Yeah. I tried to make an omelet and that turned into scrambled eggs. Much like it always does when I try to make an omelet.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that loud.
Number dos, talking to you, because I'm stealing that from you because it was sweet, and if I don't say it, then I sound lame.
Girl, you never have to be sorry. You just you can always take that from me. That's fine. I appreciate you.
What's the third thing?
What is the third thing?
I had hot chocolate this morning.
You had hot chocolate this morning?
Yeah, it's really cold this week.
It's really cold
P.S. So yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I don't really know if this makes a lot of sense to most people, but I know that our generation kind of gets like into this, cycle of like, oh, is this good enough? going to work is not necessarily always hard, but like I love seeing the videos of people who are trying to answer emails and they're like, okay, don't overly express yourself and make sure that you're very strong and saying, hey, hi, thank you for getting my email. I just wanted to let you know. It's like, thanks for responding, the end, bam. And like, it's so incredibly stressful sometimes because I'm like, oh yeah, I do feel that same anxiety a lot.
Yeah.
But when I really think about normalizing, I think about the, waking up late on the weekend. And I'm not a mom, I don't have kids or anything. So like I wake up at like 9-10 o'clock on the weekend. Sometimes even later if I'm, doing things the night before. But like coming home from work and just sitting on my butt for like a few hours, eating some food and then going to bed and like calling it a night, like that to me is the best day ever. I don't know.
I think that's everybody's best day ever.
But I don't know if it really is though. Like it might be for us, but because like we're engaged in that. But like I know that's not the best thing for my parents. Like if they come home and they sit on the couch and watch TV all night, they're so upset about it. They're like, we didn't do the dishes. My mom's like, I didn't knit. Oh my gosh, I gotta knit. I got a blanket due in a month.
It's so funny that everybody's like a household is so different and that your routine is based off of like how you grew up. Because like, I don't know if you remember like when you grew up and you go to other people's houses and then they just have a different routine and you're like surprised by it at first, or like
you're like overly expecting.
I was like, oh, adults can like sleep in on the weekend. What?
Yeah, and I never expected like certain friends, certain family members who like didn't do the things that we did growing up. Like Saturday mornings were like a chore day, like productive. I got like friends who were like, oh yeah, like we went to a movie. I'm like, you went to a movie? We had to do chores till like 8 o'clock, whatever. Dramatic. I'm sorry, Mom, I'm being dramatic. It's so interesting to see how that really influences the way that like you look at your everyday life. And I don't know, but it's like, I don't know, I struggle with this a lot because I look at my sisters who have like jobs and households and partners and children, and their life is so busy. And I was like, gosh, I hope Amy can sit on the couch and watch her show tonight, because I know how hard she's been trying to do that, and the kids they got this kind of activity to do, and this needs to be done by this time, and she's got to do laundry or something, like like mom life, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I could text her and be like, hey, did you catch up on that episode? She goes, oh, not tonight, and I'm like, I can't imagine if I really wanted to watch a TV show and I came home and I couldn't watch it. Like, are you kidding me?
That's
it's so funny. That's so horrible. It's so true. I just like, I can't even think about that being a thing.
And that's why kids end up watching like slightly weird shows with their parents.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Because
the mom's like, it's fine if you watch Grey's Anatomy with me.
Yes. No, that's exactly how it is. And I think about how like I watched Charmed growing up with my mom, and Bones, and
oh my gosh,
like
my mom let me watch Desperate Housewives.
Oh,
why?
She sure did.
She didn't even like that show. I don't know why we watched it.
Yeah, no, I don't always feel this like kind of weirdness in, when I feel kind of low, but when I do, it really sits with me for a few days, and it takes me a while to get out of that kind of funk.
I think you have to realize that you're making your own rules now.
Say that again.
I think you have to realize that you're making your own rules now.
She's saying something. She's preaching to this something. Are you sure that I'm able to have that kind of responsibility?
What rules do you need to make your home functional and safe and serve you, and that it's not bothering you?
If she doesn't talk louder, I swear, like that's a brilliant thing to ask someone, and I really don't think I've really thought about it.
I rest, but I also, if something starts bothering me, I will take care of it.
Like dishes or something?
Yeah, or the thing in the corner that I told myself I was going to throw out 5 days ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
Yeah. I just don't feel...
But for now, it doesn't make me a bad person if I have dirty dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. My sister and I were cleaning her house this weekend because they're renovating, and we're just getting things in order for the renovation. And she goes, I don't want to be the mom that comes home every day after work and cleans. Like, I want to be the mom that goes outside with their kids and plays with them. Mm-hmm. And we stay up and we have a movie night, or whatever. And I was like, right, because like you can always clean another day, or you can always clean some other way, whatever, or like just do it little by little. And she's like, exactly. She's like, I don't have that kind of anxiety, and I don't want to have it. And I was like, oh, I wish I had that, because like every time I look at something that's dirty, I freak out. out.
Well, there's lots of different tactics and there's lots of different things that work for different people.
Totally. Absolutely. And I don't think that's bad nor good. It is what it is. Like, that's how people are, who they are.
Exactly. Yeah. Some people do want to clean every day.
Which, teach your own. But, like, how do you do that? And if you do that a lot, can you send me an email and tell me how to do it? With, like, a schedule and, like, how do I go to work and not get tired?
I ask my mom to come clean my house all the time.
I should text, hey, Mom, can you come over and clean my house?
She usually says no.
Yeah, she wouldn't. Well, no, my mom would come if I was, like, desperate. And I was like, please come clean my dishes. You made me think of something and I completely forgot. Oh, the rules thing. I was thinking about how, like, I don't really feel like I am the age I am. Like this is considered adulthood.
I've been 40 since I was like 10, so tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong, but I didn't know where you was. I don't even know what I'm saying. I didn't think you were that old. She's like, I'm 40.
No, definitely 40-year-old.
And me, I'm like, I'm 12. I even look 12.
I don't think you're 12. So you were saying you don't feel like your age. What age do you feel you are?
Well, I don't really know because, like, I think about how we talked about what would you say to your 16, 18-year-old self? Or, like, what would your little self think about you now? And I'm like, my person would be like, what in the hell are you doing? And then also my other part of me would probably be like, this is adulthood. This sucks. This is overrated.
It does.
It's overrated, people. But no, I don't really necessarily think I am a specific age. I just don't feel like my age is considered grown.
That's because you're not creating your own expectation.
Oh, okay. Meaning, like,
AKA, you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You're being too hard on yourself.
God, guys, help me. What am I doing wrong?
You are only responsible for your actions.
Yeah, that's true.
And upholding what you want, especially in your it's your space. You don't even have to share it. Like, I have to also maintain, my husband and I together, we have to decide what the function of our household is.
And, like, being in a partnership, I can
you can do whatever the heck you want.
Girl, she can say that again. No, but being able to do whatever the heck I want doesn't always.
Is that, like, too much?
I think it is too much because that's where the pressure comes. Like,
is it, like, too much slack or too much expectation? For me, it would be too much slack.
I don't think I give myself enough slack. I think I have such high expectations for what I expect myself to do when I come home, or what I expect myself to do for a weekend, or however I want to organize my life. And when that doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen.
And I want to be clear that there's nothing wrong with that. If you have high expectations, girl, do it. If you have the energy, go get it, girl.
It's so funny because,
like, if you want me to encourage you,
well,
I'm here for you.
I think I want. I need a balance. Like, that's something that I'm working through with my therapist right now. She's like, what do you want to do this spring? And I was like, I'd like to find some balance in my current situation, meaning, like, this transition I'm in.
Figure out what's going to work for you. How do you stay motivated?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how do I stay motivated?
Maybe it's 3 days a week. Maybe it's one day a week. Whatever.
Right. Like, today I was going to work out when we were done talking, but I, messed around too much earlier and I was on my phone, and then you texted me and I was like, oh yeah, crap. And I was like, gotta go upstairs.
Literally same.
So
my only regret is that I didn't make my breakfast sooner so that I could make a dessert.
Oh yeah. Maybe you should have hot cocoa again today for dessert.
I rarely eat dessert. I don't know why I'm saying that.
I don't really like dessert either. I'm not really much of a cookie person.
I did not say I didn't like it.
Oh, right. Take it back, Emma. Take it back. No, I really don't like dessert, really. Like,
I'm going to have to hang up on you.
If it was offered at a birthday party, I would eat it and I would be glad to eat it. But, like, if I personally went out of my way, I wouldn't eat it.
Okay. This is a sidebar. Let's do a quick side chat. I wish it was socially acceptable not to eat a dessert at a party, at like a birthday party or whatever, when you don't actually like what it is. I don't want your gross cake that I know I'm not going to enjoy and I don't actually like it that much. I would rather much like have it be more polite for me to just say, no, I'm good, thank you very much, and not eat anything. And then but then it's pressure, and then I have this big giant piece of cake in my hand, and I'm like, ugh, and then I eat it, and then I get a stomach ache, and I'm like uncomfortably full, and I'm like, I really wish I didn't have to eat this stupid piece of cake when I knew I wasn't gonna like it. Actually, you know, I honestly
think
I'm sorry that came out of nowhere.
I honestly feel like this is the same problem as like the hot dog to bun ratio. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like,
if PSA to our listeners, if you're not buying bun length hot dogs, you're not living.
But also, like, if you're
doing it
like,
wrong.
you know how you have to buy, like, hot dogs comes in packs of 12 and like buns comes in like a pack of 8 or something. Like, this is how I feel about dessert at birthday parties. Here's the deal, people. If you went to a birthday party and they were like, we have cake and cupcakes and cookies, pick one. You invited 50 people and you got an entire sheet cake. Nobody is going to eat that whole sheet cake.
That's literally what your family does.
Yes, I know, and we have a problem where we always have leftover cake. I'm telling you, if you invite 50 people, you get half a sheet cake and you don't do anything else. If you do an extra dessert like cupcakes and cookies, you do a quarter sheet cake, or you do only a small cake for the birthday person.
Okay. I'm all about a variety.
Let me go into my old age and my granny, heartbreaking soap opera right now.
What's wrong with some extra dessert?
The problem what? How did this get turned on me?
I'm just asking.
No problem with extra dessert. It's the fact that like people normally push dessert at birthday parties because they bought too much. Everyone has to eat.
Yeah, and that's how you get guilted into eating the piece of cake that you don't want.
And then you go home and you throw up.
Well, I hope you don't.
Well, don't eat the cake then. But I also think like, like for me, like I don't eat chocolate, I don't eat nuts, I don't eat peanut butter.
Yeah, she has like an easy out. She'll be like,
I'm allergic.
Sorry, it might have nuts in it. Yeah,
I'm like, where did you get this? Like, do you know if there's any nuts in the batter? And they're like, oh my god, I have no idea. And I'm like, great, let me not eat it. That's my easy out, but no, for real.
We were talking about something else.
We were talking about like expectations, and my expectations for birthday parties is to have chocolate-free snacks. My goodness. I've always wanted to have just like a vanilla cookie, and everyone hates me because I'm lame. I don't like chocolate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyways, so on a regular note, I think other than this, I'm doing like really well. Like I'm really excited to have this new space, and I'm so excited to be closer to Lauren because like, oh my god, it's amazing. I have a proposition for you, which I want to confirm on the podcast, but I do not want to ask it on the podcast, but I am asking you right now because I want to talk about it.
That is so confusing, and it feels like you just want to ask me something so that I have the social pressure of saying yes over a podcast.
No, I really think we should cut this portion out. I just have a question.
Okay, the next part, she's going to ask me something, and we're going to cut it out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Welcome back to the Oakview Podcast. The answer was Yapadoodle.
Yapadoodles, choodly. So normalizing the fact that like, stop ordering so much food for a birthday party. I'm just showing up. I don't need your cake and your cookies and your cupcakes. Pick one. Just pick one.
I was trying to think of like a smooth transition, and I have nothing.
That's okay. That's enough. Lauren and I would just like to let you all know that we are going to be moving to an every other week update.
Unless, unless by popular demand, you require more from us,
right?
Which we can accommodate.
We can totally accommodate. But, we're heading into a very busy season for both of us. And we just want to be honest with our friends here because, we consider you friends, and I hope you consider us as yours. I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel awkward.
Lauren's awkward. We're awkward. We're all awkward. It's fine. Yeah, but I think that would be great for both of us. Anyways, back to our scheduled programming. Normalize the idea that like just because I wake up at 8 o'clock doesn't mean I have to get dressed. I could wake up and just like sit in my PJs all day. Who cares?
You can just do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want. People don't realize that.
You make the rules.
You make the rules. Okay, lessons learned today. You make the rules. You're your own boss. Do whatever the heck you want. You don't have to answer to the man except for the law. That's it. Call it a day. Boom, bam, bing.
The end. Thanks for listening. What's your favorite dessert at a party?
Nothing.
Really?
No, I mean, honestly, if it's a good cake, I'll eat it. But like, usually there's normally like, it's ice cream cake with chocolate. It's either chocolate cake with...
No, I'm just saying like what...
If they had it?
What's your favorite? Yeah.
Well, I must have been going to some crappy birthday parties because usually I don't eat them. Oh, sometimes if they get the... Okay, everybody probably thinks these cookies are disgusting. But if you're low...
Okay.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
If you're going to say those nasty, like, frosting sugar cookies, I don't want to talk about it.
Those are the ones that have, like, the really thick frosting and, like, the sprinkles.
You're disgusting.
No, it's amazing.
I hate those.
Those are the best.
So many people love them.
They are the best. I don't know what everyone to say it, but I'm going to tell you it's the best. That's fine. Lauren doesn't have to agree, but that's just how it is. Can't come after me. This is my life. I eat whatever the cookies I want.
You can. You're right. No judgment.
I'm judging myself, but anyways. We're doing a no judgment zone here because, we just had a hard week for me. But it's fine. Everything's fine. Come on, Lauren. Humor me.
Okay, that's a lot of pressure. Thank you. You're really putting me on the spot on this podcast where I dedicated time to talk to you.
I really appreciate you responding at least.
You're like the bar is on the ground. Your expectation is very low, and I'm not delivering.
You really aren't. I'm really kind of needing you to pull through here.
Ouch. Okay,
fine. I'll be more honest.
What?
9 out of 10.
I'm not like a magician.
9 out of 10. It's more accurate.
Gosh.
It's it's still an
Can
A.
you believe this? I just.
Oh, she's giving me the silent treatment.
I just feel like it's okay if I'm a little bit tired and yet you're docking a whole point from me.
No, I would never dock a whole point from you. I'm docking a whole point from our friendship because I criticized you, judged you, and made fun of you. And then you were like,
oh, I thought you were docking a point for my performance.
No.
Like I am a 9 out of 10.
No, you're not a 9 out of 10. I'm saying me.
I don't think that our friendship can be docked a point just because I think your judgment in that moment was very temporary.
I was not judging you. I was judging myself. Judging you because I was judging you, and then you judged me for judging you. I give myself. I docked myself. 9 out of 10.
I'm so confused.
It's okay. If the people understand, they understand. If they don't, whatever. Just know that I love you.
And
then I would never criticize you for
but
that.
It better be a 10 out of 10.
You're a 10 out of 10. Me right now, I'm giving myself a 9.
You shush. You don't cut yourself enough slack. We just talked about this. See, I keep telling Emma the same thing. I've been telling her the same thing for days. And are you listening to me?
Do you think there's a little person in my brain pushing the reset button?
I understand when people sometimes you just want to be comforted and you don't really want advice, and I understand you get advice and you in your head you're like, yeah, I know that's right, but that's not what I want right now. I just want to pity myself. I get you. I'm totally with you.
Do you think I pity myself? Is that what I'm doing?
I feel like any comforting thing you already know for yourself, right? I feel like when I say, Emma, everything's fine. You're going through a lot of change.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I think that's part of my my complex is I feel like I need to be validated, but I hate being validated.
Why do you hate being validated?
Because I don't like being told that I do a good job. I get you know how people.
You don't like being told that you do a good job.
No, because I feel like it's what's expected of.
Oh, you feel like you're just doing the minimum and you don't want to be thanked for it. I feel like the exact same way. People are like, "Oh my god, that was so amazing," and you're like, "I
showed up." What are you talking about?
I just did. Yeah, I just showed up. I just did what I do.
What else was I supposed to do?
And you don't need to thank me for that.
I'm literally doing. Exactly
you never need to thank me for being nice to you. At the beginning of this podcast, I was like, "All right."
No, but I wanted to say thank you because I don't think friends usually do that.
But they do.
No. Not friends don't show up for each other. That's what we talked about, what makes good friendship. What I'm saying is it took every ounce of my body to choose you as the person I texted. I didn't text my family. I didn't text any other friend of mine. I only texted you, and I was like, why did...
Aww.
That's the thing, though.
But you know what you need in that moment.
Yeah, and see that... Now, that's a topic I'd go ham on.
Let's talk about it. I mean, because...
Here or in another episode?
In a situation, do you or do you not pick who you talk to based off of what you want to hear?
100%, because if you do... And... you know what you're getting out of it.
Yeah, if you want to hear a certain answer, or if I know this person's going to give me a solution, I don't want a solution. I just want comfort.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I was looking for in that moment. I wasn't looking for you to tell me that I wasn't.
Yeah, I know exactly.
What you mean. For some things, I'm looking for someone to tell me what to do. But in that moment, you were just like, Emma, I feel that way sometimes too, and I was like, oh, okay. That's normalizing it.
Yeah.
I didn't want someone to like other friends would have been like, oh, it's okay. You're okay. You know what you should do? You should get up and take a shower. You should eat something. You should.
Yeah. And they give suggestions.
Right. I'm not asking for that.
And you're like, yeah, I know I could do all of that.
But
you're like, yeah, you're right. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
But that's not getting me off of the
it's
couch.
not.
That's not making me feel any different than I feel.
Right. Exactly.
Which, because maybe I don't want to feel any different than I feel. Correct. I just want somebody to know about it.
And that's another good point. Like normalizing the idea that like it's not just only okay and valid to feel down. It's okay to not want to change it.
I love a good pity party.
I love a good pity party. Let me just like sit here in my sorrows.
I talked about this with my friend today. I was like, I'm just a little bit sad and I just want to go home. And I just want to, somebody invited me to like get dinner at their house and I just kind of want to go sit on my couch and like be sad. That's just like what I want to do. I just want to sit in it for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we don't really appreciate because my go-to is to listen to sad music and watch sad movies and just cry.
And yeah, you just have to like feel through it.
And people find that very uncomfortable. And they're like, ew, no, why would you want to be sad? Like, listen to something that makes you feel good. I'm like, no, because if I don't go through this...
You have to process it. Yeah, you have to feel through it.
Inside for weeks on end, and then I'm going to crash. And then you're going to be like, oh, what happened? I have no idea.
My problem is that I'll sit for too long.
That's why I reached out.
Yeah, when you break down, then you can't function. And then that's a hindrance to your actual well-being. Like, I won't eat.
For legal reasons, I'm not going to say exactly what happened.
Or like my husband will be so frustrated and I'm just like, I just don't have the energy. And that's when it's like more concerning. Or like you're no longer feeling through it, you're just sitting there and making acknowledging what you're feeling is important.
Yes, understanding
where you're at and why, and then pushing through. That's the feeling through it. There's a process. You have to say, I recognize, of course I'm feeling this way, I understand that I'm feeling this way, why am I feeling this way? All right, I can accept that and I can seek out the next thing.
Yes, because if I went one more day and I didn't tell you, for legal reasons, I'm not going to say it out loud, but I wouldn't have followed through on the things that I was responsible for. And I make the legal joke because if I think my boss listens to this sometime. I don't want to say, okay, well, I want to say this. If you can't acknowledge what's currently happening, you're going to avoid it. And avoidance just creates a buildup. But it's also important to acknowledge what you just said. Like if you sit too long, you're going to turn it into something more turmoil.
And I think that avoidance goes hand in hand. So when I'm feeling anxious, it's because I'm avoiding feeling a certain way.
Yes.
Or when we are not responding or just like sitting in a feeling, we're avoiding communicating or reaching for why we're feeling that way, or we don't want to deal with it.
And I think the don't want to deal with it part sometimes,
amen.
Great, brilliant. Because for me, I don't want to deal with a lot of it. And I don't necessarily think that I'm always avoiding the feeling that creates that, but rather that I'm not allowing myself to acknowledge why. And I just go, well, not right now. Or like, I don't want to deal with it. Or like, no, I'll put it aside. Let me put this to tomorrow.
Yes, I love doing that.
It's the best.
It's my hobby.
But it's so normal. It's normal to say, not right now, there is no time. It just that's how it is.
And yeah, you just have to balance
and
it.
The balance is part of the danger, right? So like there's a fine line that you could cross over where you really, I think they call it a doom room. You know, when people get into like such a depressive state that like their bedrooms or their offices or their like nooks or wherever you spend most of that time pondering and festering in that sadness, it becomes an entirely new problem. And that room is specifically for that.
And then another hurdle to get out. You know what I mean?
The hurdle of...
You're trapping yourself.
I don't always want the solution. I don't want someone to tell me like, well, if you would just keep your space a little bit neater, or if you would open the shades, or, you know, try waking up a little bit earlier today and like drinking more water or something. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm in a space right now in my brain that is now reflective on the outside. I was like, I'm now giving it power.
Yeah, I'm now sitting for too long.
Now it's too long. Now I'm in the doom, in the danger, and the dreariness. That's all.
Yeah, now this is bad.
Now this is bad. Because before, if you're sulking or if you're just like feeling on your couch.
I literally texted Emma. I said, what did I say? I said, I'm not feeling very fun, but I'm probably just hungry. And I said, like, I'm feeling a little bit sad, but maybe I'm just hungry.
I went, oh, sorry. And she was like, no, I think I'm just hungry. Yeah. But like, how truthful is that? Not only to acknowledge that, like, this is the feeling. Because like, normally you're just like, oh, well, I gotta do it. I gotta get over this. Blah, blah, blah. No, she's just being honest with me and telling me, this is what might come out of it. Okay, well, then that just tells me to be aware.
Exactly.
It doesn't tell me to change anything. It just says maybe
I'm just letting you know.
Right, and the conversation might just be
And then
different.
she's all like, Lauren, you're not talking enough. How dare.
No, it's not that you're not talking enough. It's when I talk, you just stare at me and I'm like, well, what did I say? Did I say something stupid? Like, what? You make me feel sometimes I feel a little dumb. And then she's like, well,
I never want you to feel that way.
See, Lauren is the smarter version of me, because when she is...
That is a lie.
The only difference that I find is hilarious between you and me is like, so I will fill the gaps with sound and she will sit with it and think about it and then respond. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Let me fill all the space with noise.
But that's just who we are.
Oh, it's so good. But no, I think that's really powerful to acknowledge that like you're dealing with something and there might be a tipping point. So who's the person that you reach out to when you have a tipping point?
Well, it depends on the answer that you want.
But I'm also ask that to our
good,
audience.
Sometimes that's bad, right? If you get into bad habits or you're going down a bad path, you might reach out to a friend who doesn't maybe have the best moral compass because you want them to tell you that it's okay.
That's brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant. She's so right.
I mean, have you ever done that?
Well,
have you ever done that? I've done that. Because maybe if you reached out to your truer friends, your best friends or friends that I don't want to say that you respect their moral compass and you know that they have a strong moral compass of good and bad.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to get the answer that you want because you know the path that you're at, but your brain is telling you that.
Mm-hmm. I think what you're saying and how I interpret this is that the people that are going to hold the mirror up in front of you to make you look inward are sometimes the ones that you avoid.
Oh, 110%. You
know what I mean? And like for me, well, I don't necessarily want to avoid it. I just don't want to spend the energy listening to it.
Yeah, you just need like a one sentence, like flat out.
Exactly.
Wrap this up.
Like, that's how I feel about most times. However, I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but like, someone told me that she was having compassion fatigue, and I went,
I think we did talk about that.
So I still think about this when I think about what I did with you, and I was like, if I don't have the energy to listen to someone in this moment, I am not going to have the energy to talk.
Yeah.
So, you pick and choose those people, because there's certain people that that you can run to when you're in a distress. My mom and dad like to call it the 3 a.m. friend. Who do you call at 3 a.m. when you need someone? And like, do they uphold that value, right? When I'm the one who is like, lo and behold, I don't want to acknowledge what I'm doing or dealing with, I don't call the 3 a.m. friend.
You call the noon friend.
I call the noon friend. I call the one that like probably woke up from a nap or had a really good lunch and has like really good listening ears, because they're full. Okay. They're full of they're not needing to like fulfill something by responding with it.
It's not going to be like fight or flight. Yes. They're just going to listen.
Yes. That's a great way to put it, because
when you call the 3 a.m. friend, they're like,
what do you need? What's wrong? What do I need to do?
What are we going to do? What do I need to do? What do you need?
Now? And I don't need that kind of energy in my life. That's too much for me.
That's too funny. But then, you know what I will do sometimes? Maybe I'll just call a friend who I know will carry the conversation so that I don't have to talk. I just feel like maybe I would feel a little bit better. I know it'll make me feel a little bit better. And I know you're just going to tell me about your life and your day, and I can maybe get a little laugh in, and I won't have to fully participate that much.
I also think in those moments, do you ever feel like you need to respond? Like, I kind of want someone like you, who you were telling me things and I was just like, okay, yes. Everything that you were telling me, I was acknowledging and I was agreeing with. I was like, yes, you're right. That's something I should do. But like in my brain, I was like saying it all to myself. But then I was responding to you with like very simple words. Yes, that's good. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay. But like most of the time, the high expectation type A piece of shit in me was like, yes, thank you so much. You're the best person ever. You're such a great person. Like, thank you for helping me and loving me and caring about me and thinking about me and being here for me. And like, oh my God.
But you don't have to say all that.
Right.
With your 3 a.m. friend.
No. Well, with my noon friend, my 3 a.m. friend, I might need to be more intense about it. But it's so true. It's like when you need the friend of yours to be present, helpful, listening. I think part of that also requires some sort of response from you to say like, hey, I don't really feel good. I really need you to just like say something, versus like, I really need you to listen.
And some of those things don't have to be laid out line by line with like your close friend.
God.
And they can always be later. Be like, oh, hey, thank you for helping me last week.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate it.
Right, done.
Let me tell you about, go
No,
ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that being super simple in those moments are helpful too, because like sometimes I text the people that are actually have no idea what I'm dealing with, but I know that they're funny, or that I know that they're entertaining, and then I'm always willing to like, you know, see what I can get out of that.
You need a funny friend on the phone.
You need a funny friend. And if you don't got a funny friend, call me. I'm pretty funny.
I was just going to say like literally that exact same thing, and I was like, but I don't think I'm the funny friend.
No, I think you're the funny friend. I think you and I are the funny friends that call each other because we're hilarious.
That's just what we'll tell ourselves right now.
You don't have to believe what we're saying. We believe what we're saying.
Okay, let me riddle me this. Let me tell you about my friend. Okay. I have a friend, and when we were becoming friends, sometimes I would get like she's really sweet, she's super nice, and I would get a little bit irritated sometimes when she would talk about her day or challenges in front of her, or like if she had a bad day or she just wanted to like, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, I get it.
I would always, the way I normally respond is like, oh yeah, that sucks. This is what I do. Or like, or have you tried this? Or, you know, I was being a solutions person, apparently.
Yeah. Did you realize it?
I was acknowledging it. I was saying, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that does suck. And then she would just keep talking about it and keep talking about it. And I'm like, okay, clearly you don't want a solution.
Right.
And that would bother me. And now, as we're still friends, I have adapted my responses to those situations where now I have learned that she just wants to talk about it. She just wants to be listened to, and she just wants to feel validated and play out some of those scenarios. And I can be that person. Yeah. That's fine. And now it doesn't bother me anymore. Now that I've just changed the conversation to be like, oh my gosh, that's the worst. Or that must have been embarrassing. Right. Or like, you're totally right. That like how you're feeling is totally valid.
You turned your agenda to hers. Like you made sure that you acknowledged what she needed. And that's something that people need to do more often. Like you can't always expect how you want to be treated or spoken to.
Exactly. And I think that
it just takes
you
time.
Can adapt to what people need. And now those, like, I don't mind doing that, where maybe it bothered me at the beginning, or maybe it was
you probably feel needed in other ways.
I just feel like I just understand her more, and I understand what her needs, but how I would talk to her is not how I would talk to you.
No, and that's because you acknowledge what I need, and I acknowledge what you need, and we spend that time together working through it. Like just, it goes back to the ABC friends. It's like, what friend of yours do you take the time to listen to and to respond with the things that they need, not what you think they want, right? So how do you use that in like everything else, right? And it's so important to take that time and to listen and to just pay attention, because sometimes, usually, I want someone to help me, but in that particular day, I was like, please don't say anything. Like, dude, I don't want that. And it changes, but I think it takes time to really pay attention and observe, because not everybody's behavior is consistent.
Oh, very true. Because situations are different.
Yes, and you also have to protect yourself. Even with you and me, like, you cannot give every part of you to me. You're going to run out of energy. You're going to burn out.
Exactly.
So you have to be very... I don't say...
Sometimes it's like, you just talk. I do not have the energy to keep up.
I mean, as we see here.
No, I just mean like...
No, I know.
Like, even with my other friend, if I don't really have the mental capacity to be like...
Compassion fatigue. It's so real.
Yeah, compassion fatigue. Yeah.
It's so real, and people... But it's not a negative thing. It just says so much about who you are as a person to be able to sit through... Because, like, for me, I got 5 close friends. If each and every single one of you was going through a catastrophe, I can't give myself and I can't give my energy to every single one of you at 100%. It just doesn't exist. The energy, I can't create more energy. I can only do so much on my own end, but it's so important, especially with coworkers or distant family members
and your family. And
yes, because your family is so crucial. If you can acknowledge those moments, because then it actually kind of, and for me, it's kind of also a protective barrier. If I can acknowledge that, like, let's say my cousin needs someone to just speak to and like just work things out, and I don't have to do anything in response, that's actually kind of helping me, because like I'm protecting a little bit of myself and my energy and my zen in a way. My boundaries aren't being crossed.
Yeah,
it's a blessing, and people don't realize it. I'm just saying.
It's true.
Hallelujah, amen. Okay. But I think that's brilliant. I think it's so important, and it's so important to like acknowledge when you need the fight or flight, or even just like the float.
The float.
Because sometimes you just gotta be there. You gotta just like go, like we're saying, just move through it. Go slow, take your time, but like you can do it.
Yeah. Or like you just don't know where to start.
Right. And if you don't know where to start, you can always email Lauren and I, because we'd be happy to listen to you, and we won't share any of your information. It will all be privatized, and and we can help you because you can help us. And I want to talk to more people because I want to make more friends.
Be an advice column.
Oh, that'd be fun. Like Aunt Flo. Like, what would you like to? Maybe
Aunt Flo.
Wrong, Aunt Flo. I didn't mean that. I was trying to say float, like I was saying earlier, but not like the flow.
Aunt Flo.
Yeah, but like like ask Janice. Like a new. Dear Janice, my boyfriend won't help me mow the lawn.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying when Johnny doesn't. So funny. Well, Lauren, I think that's really made me feel better, honestly. I'm really glad that like I ended this week on a high note.
This is not the end of the week.
This is the end of my week, okay?
Okay.
Because tomorrow I need...
It's literally Tuesday.
No, today's Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure today was Friday because I actually showed up for myself today. So tomorrow I'm going to give it Monday energy.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
For new you, you.
The days of the week don't define me.
Who dis?
What time is it? 8 o'clock? No, get out. It's actually... But it is coming up on my bedtime, Lauren.
Same. Good night. I'm just kidding.
This was fun.
This has
been fun. This is great. I can't wait to record again.
I very much enjoyed it.
Me too.
She was like... had one eye open and one eye closed.
I was really thinking really hard as if I had something else to say.
What are we going to call this episode?
I kind of want to call it like fight, flight, or float.
I was thinking something similar.
Just like how does this go for you? Honestly, that's kind of funny to me.
Totally. Okay. Thank you everybody for listening.
Thanks for coming.
We appreciate your time. Please feel free to follow, subscribe, share.
Also, we love you.
Check us out anywhere.
We love hearing from you. So please continue to reach out and let us know what you think of this podcast. Lauren and I love spending time with each other and telling the world about my feelings. Okay.
We'll be every other week for a little bit.
This has been another episode of The Oakview. Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you again for listening to The Oakview. You can follow Lauren and Emma on Instagram at TheOakviewPodcast. OAKVIEW podcast, or email us at TheOakviewPodcast@gmail.com.